So welcome back, or welcome to Yoga with Ciara. It's day 22 of Belong. I'm going to have to do the photo shoot today for next month. I was waiting for sunshine and some time. So today, I think, is the day. So tomorrow I'm going to launch the month of June. I had to wait for the sun for it. So great, come lie on your back. And on Saturday, we did a balancy thing. We're going to do that again, finding balance in the wave. Okay, so come. Lying on your back, your knees are bent. Your feet are flat on the floor. And just arrive onto the floor, land in. Nice. And then draw your right knee up towards you and bring your elbows a bit out to the side. And then just rock from side to side in this shape. Go slowly, noticing sensations. Can the movement get a bit bigger? Or is this movement staying the same size at the moment? Notice what the sensations are as you rock from one side to the other, as you listen in. Nice, change. Draw your left knee up towards you. Rock. It's interesting how for me, in twisting, I can get quite a stuck feeling in my lower back. And I really have to honor that feeling and go really slowly with it. And so how are you in this moment as you draw your left knee up towards you and rock from side to side? Nice. Bring both feet to the floor. Reach both arms up towards the ceiling and then cross your arms over each other so you're hugging yourself. And then drop your knees from side to side. Feel how your pelvis is moving. And now, rock your shoulders from side to side. Feel how your rib cage is moving. I'm going to lift my head off the floor as I do this. You could stretch your arms out long. It's the same movement that we've done before. Your arms are long, your feet are flat on the floor, and you're rocking from one side to the other. Just feeling rib cage, torso, body, general sensations in every direction. Nice. Stretch your legs out long. Pause. Nice. So both feet to the floor. Bring your feet a tiny bit closer than hip distance. Draw your right knee up towards you and then lift your bum up a tiny bit. So we're balancing here. As soon as there's something off the floor, it has to balance. So bum has lifted off the floor and you're squeezing your right knee up towards you. And then stretch your right leg long so you're into zoomies. So your thighs are together and your right leg is long. Bend your knee up towards you. Bring your elbow to your knee. And then stretch your arms overhead as you lengthen your leg into zoomies. So feel, that whole body coherency that starts to happen when you're balancing. Everything is working together. Or maybe not. Elbow comes to the knee. Both arms lengthen overhead. Leg lengthens long. Thighs are together. Zoomies long. Squeeze. And when I bring my elbow to my knee, my back lands really lightly on the floor. but I'm not letting go. One more time. Super. Drop your bum to the floor. Rest. No balancing, no suspendedness. Other side, draw your left knee up towards you. Lift your bum off the floor. And then stretch your left leg long so that your thighs are parallel. And then bend your elbows. Draw your knee to your elbow. Stretch your arms overhead. Zoomies. There's something about the rounding of my elbow to my knee that feels very satisfying into the lower back. And then the lengthening meets something long in the front of me. One more time. Super duper. Drop your bum to the floor. Pause. Nice. So, keeping your right foot flat on the floor, drop your left thigh out to the side. Okay? And then come back up to center. Do it again. Same side. Left thigh out to the side. And then come back up. And then there's a certain point where you can't go any further keeping your right hip on the floor, but now let your right hip lift so that your left thigh comes to the floor. So let your pelvis move and then come back to center with your spine, come back to center with your knee. Go as far as you can, then let your pelvis move, let your pelvis land, bring your knee back to center. So make them two different movements. Thigh goes out, pelvis lifts, pelvis drops, knee comes back in. Thigh, pelvis, pelvis, thigh. Thigh, pelvis, pelvis, thigh. Try the other side. So drop your right knee out to the side and then bring it back to center. Right knee to the side and then bring it back to center. Now you're going to include your pelvis. Right knee to the side. Let your pelvis follow that right thigh so that your thigh touches the floor. Let your pelvis land. Let your knee come back to center. Thigh, pelvis, pelvis, thigh. Thigh, pelvis, pelvis, thigh. Okay, so we're gonna bring that one up a notch. Lift your bum off the floor. So have your feet a little bit closer than hip distance and draw your right knee, draw your right knee out towards the right. And then how would you bring your right thigh down to the floor here and come back up to center? Drop your left thigh out to the side. And then how would you bring your left thigh down to the floor here? And begin to sway from side to side, letting I don't even know if my thigh is actually touching. I suppose it is. Yes, it is. Kind of. It's more my calf and my knee and the outside of my bum that is touching. Can't really feel, yeah, my thigh somehow isn't touching, but it's really close to the floor. So it's more my calf that's touching. So how would you drop your calf down, drop your thigh down? And I'm going to try and get higher with my hips and then drop down, really high with my hips. Drop down, high, drop down, high, drop down. We're going to take it to the next level. Lift your right knee off the floor, right foot off the floor. So from here, how would you get your right thigh to the floor and then back up to center? Right thigh down. If you've got something going on with your right shoulder, be careful with this one because your shoulder has to stabilize a lot to get your right thigh down to the floor. Nice. Try the other side. Left thigh lifts. Knees in the air. Left thigh to the floor. Back up. Left thigh to the floor. Back up. Left thigh down. Back up. Nice. Both feet to the floor. Push your hips really, really high. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Interlock your fingers. Squeeze your bum. Let your knees squeeze a tiny bit towards each other. Drop your bum down. Stretch your legs out long. Pause. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your eyebrows. And just take a sigh. That sigh that we were doing yesterday. So take a deep breath into your belly, into the whole of you. And then take another one in on top of it. And then a really, really long exhalation. And as you exhale, see if you can land and become heavier on the floor. And again. And land, become heavier, resting, settling. Nice, cool. Roll over onto your side and all the way up into a cat pose. So we're going to try a similar movement here. So your hands are on the floor, your knees are on the floor, and then lift your right knee out to the side. So in the beginning, don't let your pelvis move. So my right knee is coming out to the side, and there's a certain point where it's going to get stuck. Okay? Right knee to the side. I'm imagining that I've got a cup of tea on my sacrum, so I can't let the tea spill. Nice. So now you're going to lift your thigh and then let your pelvis also move as high as you can. So suddenly now my knee is lifted really high because my spine is twisting. Bring your knee down. Bring your knee to the side, get stuck, and then let your pelvis move. And then down. Thigh, pelvis, down. Thigh, pelvis, down. Thigh, pelvis, down. Other side. Only your thigh. So imagine you have a cup of tea on your sacrum. You cannot let your sacrum move. Let your thigh come out to the side. And then now let your pelvis also move. So thigh, pelvis, down. Thigh, pelvis, down. Oh, God, my bum. Thigh, pelvis, down. One more time. Thigh, pelvis, down. Come rest back into your child's pose. Just resting down, pause. Let your bum relax. Nice. So we're going to do elephant next. And well, not typically. This version of elephant, we're going to do kneeling, okay? But if you don't like kneeling, then you can do it standing, you can do it sitting, you can do it sitting on a chair, okay? So find your way of doing this. If you don't like kneeling, then find a way around it, okay? So take your right hand and swing it across the front of your face, and then lean into the armpit and the length of your arm so that it comes from the deep of your belly. And then I sweep forward, and then left arm rises. And I'm kind of leaning a little bit back as well as I do this. It's like as I go to the left with my right hand, the back hand is almost reaching towards the foot behind me. That kind of direction. But don't think about the shape, think about the feeling. So only move as far as the feeling feels really juicy. And if you feel like you're struggling a bit, then you're going too hard. It's that easy. Make the movement smaller, make the movement slower. Find your way of doing this movement. So you can sit your bum down as you travel through the center, and then you can lean backwards more and actually bring your hand to your foot. So I'm sitting down as I come through center, and then I lean and up and back, sitting down. But only do that if your knees are feeling really well and wholesome. I don't know that the bending of the knees really deeply really adds to it, but I really like leaning back into a foot and letting my elephant really grow. But just see what's right for you. Finding your elephant. Nice. Come all the way back to center. Push back into your downward dog. Just lengthening into that, leaning into it. Having a bit of a wiggle. Pull your heels back. Come up onto your toes. Pull your heels back. Come up onto your toes. So step your right foot between your two hands. So whatever way you do that, either drop your knees down, help your foot forward, or swing your foot forward. Keep the back toes where they are and bring both hands to the front thigh and rise upwards. Okay? And then lean into that left thigh and rise through the torso. If you want, you can keep your hands where they are, or you can reach up towards the ceiling and really lengthen into the front of your belly. Sweep your hands down, drop your knee down, forehead to your knee. Stretch your back leg, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. You can come into swan if you wish, bending your elbows. And then swan dive forward, bend your back knee, drop down. Nice. Straighten your back leg, rising up, swan. Last time, hands down, bend your back knee down. So bring both hands to the floor over towards the left side and move out and in through that right leg, whatever way you do. The closer to the foot you are, the stronger the movement is. Nice. Swing your right foot back, other side. So step your left foot forward between your two hands. Lengthen your back leg. Bring both hands to your front knee, rising up. Find your balance. Reach both arms up towards the ceiling, perhaps, and bend your elbows. Reaching up, diving forward, back knee down, forehead down. Rising up, reaching long, bend your elbows. Reaching up, hand down, knee down. Reaching up, bend your elbows. Last time. Reaching up, come forward, drop your back knee, walk your hands over towards the right, and bend and straighten that left leg. Cool. Come sit on the floor. Roll into your ankles. Balancy stuff. Very cool. So come into zigzag. So zigzag is where your two knees are bent and they're both over towards the right. Okay, both feet over towards the right. And then push your left hand into the floor and just lift your bum off the floor and then drop down and do it again. Like you're trying to reach forward for something. And there's a kind of a point where you feel like you're balancing. And one more time. Nice. Change the the zigzag. Push your right hand into the floor. Lean. Reach. Reach. Cool. Stretch both legs long. Roll into your ankles again. And then in the other direction. Super. Roll your shoulders. Turn your head towards the left. Twist and have a bit of a wiggle with your shoulders here. You know, what are you doing with your shoulders? How would you ease into them? Nice. Turn your head towards the right. Wiggle your shoulders here. What are you doing? How does that feel? Nice. Cross your arms over each other. Rounding forward. Feel like you're really pulling out of your back as you do this. Forward. Cross your arms in the other direction. Forward. And forward. Nice. Cool. Drop your ear down one way. Center. And then the other way. Center. Tuck your chin in. Nice. Come lie on the floor. How does this moment feel in your body? How do you settle? Such a beautiful big sun day. It's really lovely. Wow, so much sunshine. Big sky. Very nice. So wonderful. So either stay there, squeeze your knees up, rock your knees around, do what you want to do. Nice, guys. How wonderful. So I'll see you all tomorrow for day 23 of Belong. Nice. Ciao, ciao.